What's up, guys? As you can see, I am downstairs in my downstairs gym and home gym, and I am doing cardio, and I haven't done cardio in a long time. I usually don't do it because with powerlifting I did a little bit of cardio, but not a lot. But now I am 16 weeks out from my show, pre-contest, and the journey begins. And yeah, that's what this is, cardio. And you know, people don't like cardio. I get it. It's kind of boring. It's a grind. I get all that. But when I do cardio, I think of it's helping me get into great shape, right? It's helping me get cut. It's helping me get to that end game. And it's a tool. There's a toolbox, right? Cardio is a tool. The squat rack is a tool. The bench, deadlifts, dumbbells, all that stuff. They're tools. And all these tools are used for an outcome. When you get tools and you build a house, at the end of the day, you have a beautiful home. You got tools to fix a car. At the end of the day, you got an engine running perfectly, right? It's no different with your body. We all have tools, from the nutrition, to the resistance training, to the cardio, to the recovery. And all of those aspects come together, hopefully, in the right way, and you present a great product on show day. That's how I interpret it. I don't look at dieting as difficult. I really don't. I look at it as a necessary process to reach a goal that's going to make me a better person, better physically, mentally. And I've always said that outside of bodybuilding, if you clean up your diet, take out sugar, take out dairy, and just clean your diet up, you won't believe how much better you're going to feel. Dump alcohol. Can't tell you how bad that is. I will not be drinking alcohol again, probably for the foreseeable future, because I have a lot of stuff on my agenda for bodybuilding coming up. So, and I don't miss it. I don't miss alcohol. I like to have a cocktail, don't get me wrong. I like to go out with friends and drink once in a while, but that won't be happening for me for a long time, and I don't care. I don't miss it. I'm not married to any one thing except bodybuilding. So, with that little speech said, I'm doing cardio. And here's my approach to cardio. This is how I do it. This is what works for me. I'm 16 weeks out. Now, when you go from an off season and you transition to pre-contest, there's different ways different ways people talk about that. Some people just say, you know, no contest time, whatever, however you want to say it. Off season for me is just, the difference between off season and pre-contest is some calories and my schedule, basically. I don't change a whole lot going from off season to pre-contest. It's a very simple equation. I cut my calories back slowly over time, and I get leaner. You know, it's that simple for me. It's not a complicated thing. Now, it does get complicated when you start getting into the nuts and bolts of contest prep at the end, especially with sodium and water and all these things that we manipulate, you know, to try to present the driest, fullest, hardest look on stage, right? But I'm just talking about the basics of getting lean. You have to burn more calories than you take in. You'll lose weight. It's that simple. My approach to cardio is very simple. I start out 2 days a week at 16 weeks out. Not every day. I don't go from no cardio to cardio 7 days a week, half hour a day. That is not going to work for me. That's too drastic right away. And the one thing you don't want to do is burn muscle, lose muscle, shock your body right away, because you're going to hit plateaus during your pre-contest dieting. You're going to go through your diet. Initially, you're going to lose a lot of weight. When you switch over into pre-contest dieting, you're going to drop water weight right away. You're going to drop 5-7 pounds of water weight, like boom, like right now. That's not uncommon at all. And you're going to get that steady state of getting leaner and leaner and leaner. But you will hit plateaus within that 12 or 16 week contest prep period where you get stuck. Your body weight gets stuck, your conditioning gets stuck, and you're just getting a little bit of what we call a plateau, right? Makes sense, right? So there's adjustments you got to make to get off those plateaus, for sure. Because you have to get off of them, or you're not gonna improve, right? Because you have that window, that 12 to 16 week window. So adjustments during your contest diet is crucial. You know, you have to constantly monitor yourself, practice your posing, all of those things. And I'll get into all that later with some later videos, believe me, as we go through this 16-week period. But, so you got to do things gradually. I introduce things gradually. I don't do anything suddenly and shock the body. Not the way I approach it. The less cardio you can do to get away with, the better, okay? I start out with 2 days a week, and then as I go along, I increase it. 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. I don't think I've ever done 7 days a week, never had to. I get lean very fast. I got a crazy fast metabolism, which is good and bad. And I don't usually have trouble getting lean. It's not a difficult thing for me. However, I haven't been on stage in a while, so that's why I'm taking 16 weeks instead of 12. I wanted this extra time to give me more latitude to make adjustments on my diet and my training, etc., to ensure that I land on stage right where I want to be. And that's the goal. That's the goal. The goal is to, all this prep, all these days, all this work comes down to a couple minutes on a bodybuilding stage at the end. It's crazy, but that's what's fun about it. It's so fucking challenging because you gotta nail it. And that's what makes this fun. It really does for me. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, which is great. I perform best when I'm under pressure. The necessity to look incredible, the fear of looking terrible on show day drives me, you know, getting up there and not being your best. That's happened to me one time in bodybuilding, and it was the 2007 Upper Midwest Championships. I placed second at heavyweight. I was going to qualify for nationals for that show, and I did. But I didn't diet as hard as I should have. You know, I wanted to come in fuller and bigger. And I did, but I wasn't as tight as I needed to be. The guy that beat me was more conditioned, period. I was bigger, I was more aesthetic, more balanced. You know, I should have easily beaten this guy, all right, easily, if I'd have been in shape. See, that's the great thing about this sport, is that you have to really nail it to be on your best day. There's nothing worse than doing a show and losing to somebody you should have beat. You know you're better than them, your physique is better, your aesthetics are better, everything is better, head to toe. But on that day, you were not better. He was better, and he beat you, and deservedly so. Right? You always hear guys say, oh, God, I look so great 2 days after the show. It's too late. That's the thing. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the thing that's difficult about this, is you got to nail it on that specific day, you know? It's akin to flying from London to New York as a pilot, thousands of miles. And at the end, you got to land on a 9,000 foot strip of concrete. If you think about that. Less than 2 miles of concrete, you got to nail it. And not just land on it, you got to hit this box they have. These pilots have a box they land on, a visual that they have to hit. It's very similar. It's the best analogy I can make. It's a long journey that ends up with basically a couple minutes on stage. It really does. A few minutes. But that's what I love about it, because it is hard. If it was easy, a lot of people would be doing it, believe me. Now, back to my cardio. I only do one type of cardio. I do the bike. I don't do the step mill. I don't do the treadmill. I do stationary bike. Well, why do I do stationary bike? I like the stationary bike because it just checks all the boxes. It works your glutes, your hamstrings, your core, and your quads. Have you ever seen a cyclist? They're skinny up here, but they got big legs. Because cycling really works your quads, really works your thighs, really works your hamstrings, really works your glutes, works your core. Especially when you get up and you do these, right? So, it's my preferred way of getting cut as far as my cardio goes. So, that's the one thing I do marry myself to, is this spinning bike in my basement, which I love. Now, as far as how long do I go, I start out at 20 minutes on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning on my off days from the gym, fasted cardio, which I know there's a lot of people who say there's no difference in that. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really care. I don't give a damn. That's just when I do my cardio, all right? On training days, when I'm doing more cardio, okay, as the diet goes along, prep goes along, I will do my cardio about 3 p.m. in the afternoon before I go to work. So I'll nail it right there in the middle of the day, which is great too. So I have a double, I take 1 to 2 days off a week from training pre-contest. I usually train 5 to 6 days a week in the gym, and then I'll increase my cardio. However, I will say this about cardio. I did the collegiate nationals without doing any cardio whatsoever, and I got more cut than ever before in my life. It's because cardio isn't always necessary for everybody. It depends. There's a million different factors to why some guys don't do cardio and some need tons of it. There's a lot of different approaches. I'm not going to go into all the nuances of that. I still like to do cardio. I did that once. It worked great. However, I took 3rd place in that show, Collegiate Nationals. I was flat, not full, made a lot of errors with that show as far as over dieting, over prepping, which happens. Again, miss my window there, you know, frustrated, but that's just how it goes. It's a learning thing. You learn from that. And that was with 0 cardio, and I got ripped. So there's more than one ways to do this, obviously. There's lots of different ways. I'm just telling you what works for me. What works for me is stationary bike. I never exceed 30 minutes. Never. I never have to. So I'll go 30 minutes is the most I ever do cardio in my entire career, ever. So that's me. Some guys I know do 2 hours of cardio. I can't imagine, but some guys do. All right. If I did 2 hours of cardio, I would show up on stage tiny and flat, and I would look like shit. So that's me. Again, everybody's different. Now, do I change my training around, my weight training? I don't. I don't change anything about how I train in the gym. I don't do more reps. I don't do less reps. I still train heavy. The only thing I'll do is sometimes I'll take a little bit less rest between sets. Up the intensity a little bit. Powerlifting, you got lots of rest between sets, which is what I've been doing. So I'm making this adjustment now to where I'm training faster. The tempo gets quicker for me. However, the sets and reps don't really change. You know, my rep range is 8 to 12, pretty much in everything. And occasionally though on legs, I'll do squats and I'll do 5s, still go heavy. You know, I'm not married to any one thing. It just depends. I train very instinctively. Depends on how I feel, right? So anyway, we are doing cardio. We are at 18 minutes, so a couple more minutes on this and then I'm done. And then I get on with my day. So that's it, 16 weeks out. Seems like a lot of time. It goes very, very fast, believe me. So after this show, and I'll be announcing which show it is soon, then I'll be doing another show later on, a few months later, possibly. It depends on how I do in the first show. Will dictate on if I do the second show. So that's how it works, one at a time. All right, guys, well, I will leave you with that as I finish up this cardio and do some abs and get on with my day. Have a good one.